Hey guys, and welcome to QualityShot. And as you can see, I'm joined by Ashraf from Cricket Rust 2.0. And we're going to go over the squads for the Australia tour of Pakistan in March, which I think both of us are very excited for. It's going to be the first time in over 20 years, I think, they're touring Pakistan as well. So definitely a long time coming. And there's some pretty damn strong squads from both teams. Australia have not held back, which is really good because there were some worries that some players might not play because of security concerns and they might not field a particularly strong side. It is a very strong side. We'll go over that in a second after going through the Pakistan one. Before we get into it, please do remember to like and subscribe to Quality Shot and Cricket for Us 2.0. Ashad, how you doing?
I'm good. And you said over 20 years. 1998 was the last time Australia toured Pakistan. I was 6 years old when they toured Pakistan. I remember that series. Ijaz Ahmed, Saeed Anwar, Wasim Akram, Shoaib Akhtar, Shahid Afridi. Those players, apart from Shahid Afridi, haven't played cricket in like years. Okay, Australia, Steve Waugh, Michael Bevan, Mark
Yeah.
Taylor, right? Mark Waugh, Glenn McGrath. There's such disparity. But this time, I feel the team that Australia is kind of bringing in seems to be their best team in the past 10 years, in my opinion. And I think it's really
Mm.
good to see because they've got a fantastic bowling attack. They've got a really good top three, top four, and they're 5 and 6, who I keep bashing were one of the best batsmen in the Ashes. So, this is going to be really exciting and very happy to see a test series, a T20, an ODI series, and then a one off T20. As you said not too long ago, a full series rather than what England was trying to
Yeah.
do earlier last year.
Yeah, which was a couple of T20s, wasn't it? I think,
Yeah.
and that's it. After we did a whole tour of England, so I think they are. I'm not might be wrong. I think they are coming this year, but or it's
Yeah,
planned,
end
or
of the
maybe
year.
it's
Yeah.
next year,
Yeah. Yeah.
end of the year. So, but yes, yeah, it's a proper tour. It's not just a Test match series. It's, as you said, Test match series, some ODIs in there, and also then that singular T20, which I think is a bit weird because it's T20 World Cup year, but still,
IPL.
either way,
IPL.
that's
IPL.
oh yeah, of course. But good news is that the Australian players are not going to be allowed to leave the series early
Yeah.
for the IPL, so they will miss part of the IPL. Obviously, that's not good for people watching the IPL, but for international cricket fans, it's good because it just means that the Australians will be there in full strength for the whole tour. We don't have the specific white ball squads yet. I think they'll be announced later. But we've got the the Red Bull squad, so the Test match squads. Which let's be honest, that's what everyone wants to see.
Yeah.
So let's get up the Pakistan side first, which is I think the most interesting one because Australia only one addition I think to their squad since the Ashes squad. Um, Asjad, there's some very interesting uh, inclusions and exclusions, I would say. So, just on the top of my head, from looking at let's go through it for those who are listening to it on Spotify or Anchor or Google Podcasts, etc., listening to the audio version. So, Bob Rosin's captain, Mohammad Rizwan, Abdullah Shafiq, Azhar Ali, Fahim Ashraf, Fawad Alam, Haris Rolf, Hassan Ali, Imam Al Haq, interestingly, Mohammad Nawaz, Noman Ali, Sajid Khan, Saud Shakil, Shaheen Afridi, Shah Masood, and Zahid Mahmood. Reserves, so people that obviously can come in for injury or whatever else. Kamran Ghulam, Mohammad Abbas, Naseem Shah, Safraz Ahmed, and of course Yasir Shah. So apart from maybe I guess Kamran Ghulam, most people will know the other four players anyway because they played for Pakistan before on multiple occasions. Let's start off with the openers because this has been a cause of concern for quite some time. We've chopped and changed it around a lot. So no Abd Ali and Imran Butt, they've been excluded. So let's start with that first. Ashra, what do you think about that?
Imran Butt, best decision they've made in this entire squad, dropping him, right? Yes, he's an okay player, but definitely huge weaknesses in his batting side in terms of outside off stump, down leg side, even straight balls. He's not the greatest player. Abid Ali, unfortunately, he's out because of because he's still recovering from that operation and all that stuff that he had. So hope he gets a speedy recovery. So both of them sidelined in a way. But it was good to see Abdullah Shafiq. He performed well in Bangladesh and kind of keeping his spot, in my opinion. And then your favorite, the glasses man, the Inzi 2.0, as people call him, Imam Al Haq, right? Imam Al Haq in the squad. I think he was already in the squad in Bangladesh as well, so that's why they've just carried him. And the guy that I'm excited about, not just because of the PSL, but because of the Qadi Azam Trophy, he scored over 500 runs at an average of like 70 odd. Shan Masood is back in business, and it's in Pakistan. And if correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's played that many test matches in actually in Pakistan. So this is
No,
good to see. Yeah, this is
UAE.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah, there we go. So it's great to see him doing well domestically and hopefully bringing that form into the test arena against a very, very formidable Australian unit. So yeah, the openers, I'm actually happy with it. Can you imagine? I'm happy with the Pakistani openers. It's
yeah,
great. It's great.
yeah. Mohammad Huck's an interesting one because I feel like the way that he plays is almost suited to Test cricket.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of criticism around him, his scoring rate, which I think is okay given that Fakhar Zaman bats with him in the ODIs. But obviously, a lot of people talking about that and the way that he bats and he's quite solid in defense. You'd imagine that his defensive setup should make him ideal for the Test arena, but hasn't quite worked out that way so far. He hasn't had a huge amount of opportunities, but when he hasn't quite performed to the top level. Shamasu, we know, scored bulk runs at the UAE, but away from home struggled. And Abdullah Shafiq as well, young talent coming through. So they've got options there. Interesting to see who they go with. I will ask you your kind of predicted 11 or your 11 at the
Okay.
end.
Sounds good.
Because I know that you're going to want to chime in there. In terms of the others, then, so I guess interesting inclusions. There's not too many. I mean, obviously they've gone Naman Ali and Sajid Khan as the two spinners, and Mohammad Nawaz in there as a kind of spinning all rounder as well. Azad Mahmood's in there as well, so they've gone for really three spinners there. In Sajid Khan off spinner, Naman Ali left arm spin, Azad Mahmood the leg spin. I know you're a big fan of his. They've excluded Yasir Shah. Are you happy with that? With those three spinners in there and Mohammad Nawaz as well? I mean, is he really going to get a game though as well?
Nawaz might get the third test if Sajid Khan and or if Numan Ali doesn't do well in 2 games, Nawaz gets the third one. I have a
Yeah.
feeling that's the reason why he's been added in as a potential replacement.
Mm.
Um, I'm not the biggest fan of Yasir Shah, but I would,
Mm.
and I'm a huge fan of Zahid Mahmood. But over the last year, I would have gone with someone like Yasir Shah just on the basis of the fact that he's coming back from injury. He's been practicing and training quite a bit over the past
Mm.
couple of months. There's like loads of things online that he's been training, he's improving. He's played a couple of lower level games as well, so he's definitely in decent match shape. So I would have liked Yasir Shah in there, but Zahid Mahmood, he's not getting a game. He's only getting a game
Yeah.
if it's completely spin friendly conditions. Then they're playing Numan, Sajid, and Zahid. Okay, there's instances where I don't see Pakistan even playing two spinners. Right? Maybe they go with one from Numan or Sajid Khan because of the fact that there are certain bouncier tracks, maybe pace is more conducive over there, and they do get that option of Awad Alam giving you a couple of overs, and if Azhar Ali plays, Azhar Ali gives you a couple of overs as well of part-time spin. So yeah, it's good to see, and I'm quite happy with the spin. Like like
Don't forget about Bob Razum as well. Bob Razum's
well,
off spin.
thing is, he got a
Folded
wicket.
arms.
So
Yeah.
what can we do? What can we do? But what I'll just want to add to that is I'm actually quite content with this squad.
Hmm.
Not the main, like the entire squad, including the reserves. I'm quite happy with it.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to pick holes into it. The only one we're gonna get to it, but the only one is like slap bang in the middle. But we'll talk about that shortly anyway.
So Horace Rolfe for you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we can talk about him now. I mean, I think Horace Rolfe, we've rightly, been called out about Horace Rolfe in the past because both of us have said that, and I said on multiple videos, we're not the biggest fans of Horace Rolfe. We weren't anyway. We didn't think
Hmm.
he was good enough for just international cricket, full stop.
Yeah.
In the T20 and ODI formats, he's definitely done well enough to warrant a place in the team, no doubt.
Mhm.
He'll be on that plane to Australia for the T20 World Cup, and rightly so, unless he has a massive dip in form
Yeah.
in T20s for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
And we need him, to be fair, because he's got that. I think he's bowled the 5 quickest deliveries in the PSL so far. I mean, he's gone for some
Yeah.
runs, but he
Yeah.
has that ability, right? And we know he's got wicket-taking ability as well. But in Test match cricket, so he's only played 4 Red Ball games, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, ever.
And that's
So
over the
how
past
can you
year.
pick
Yeah.
him? How can you pick him in the squad? And if he gets can you imagine if he gets a game over some of these guys who, have been toiling away. I mean, they must just be thinking, what? Like, okay, well, then what we need to do is try focus on the white ball stuff, and then we'll get picked. I mean, apart from him, as you said, I think the squad looks okay. It looks fine. Like, there's nothing particularly wrong with it. But yeah, let's touch on Horace Roll. What's your thoughts on him being
So,
included?
right. I know why Haris Rauf's been included because they feel like Naseem Shah is quite young. He's still not 100% fit to bowl in the red ball. Who do we have? Mohammad Hasnan, his actions messed up. Who else do we have? We have Haris Rauf, who's played 4 first class games. Yes, he's taken 16 wickets. Yes, he has a strike rate of like 40, decent average, slightly high economy, like 3.5, 3.6. But he's done well domestically, but it's only 4 games. But Naseem Shah debuted by only playing like two first class games. Shaheen Afridi had played less than 10 first class games. So a lot of the Pakistani bowlers, they always they're always picked on the basis, oh, they look great, they've done well here, they've done well here. It doesn't matter if they haven't played too much first class cricket. Let's bring them in. I just don't want Haris Rauf to get into a situation where, no offense, Jofra Archer is brilliant, right? Jofra Archer is a beast, but he's gotten injured quite a lot because he hasn't played that much red ball cricket before coming into the England setup, right? He played red ball cricket. I'm not saying he didn't, but he was a specialist in the T20 setup in the white ball scene. And Haris Rauf has become a specialist in the white ball scene. Trying to thrust him in here without enough experience in red ball, I just don't feel comfortable. I think he'll potentially get a game in Rawalpindi, potentially. Otherwise, I think Pakistan just wanted one guy who bowled 150 or can bowl 150 on a regular because Australia has 3 of them. So for that reason, they wanted to kind of bring someone in who had that pace factor.
Yeah, agree. I'm just actually looking at the squad as well, and something that sticks out to me is the fact that we're gonna. I mean, Shine Afridi and Hassan Ali will play every match. I think we can
Mhm.
probably say. Fahim Ashraf will probably play every match.
Most games, yeah. I think he'll play 2 of the
But
3.
yeah, I mean, at least. But then we've only got 2 quicks if
Yeah,
we don't play Horace Rolfe. That's a nightmare. That means he will get a game, no
that's
doubt.
what
And also, why have we not picked another seamer in there? Because one of them gets injured, and
they've
apart from
got the
Nassim Shah,
reserves. They've got
yeah, but
reserves. Mohammed Abbas, who is medium slow nowadays,
but
but
I don't understand the I don't understand why one of them from the reserves is not in the main squad because it's a bit weird. Like that to me then indicates that Horace Rolfe will definitely get a game because to play with 2 seamers and Fahim Ashraf as a third seamer and then 2 spinners, as you said, it depends on the pitch, right? The pitch is going to be a bouncier track. It's going to be more conducive to the pace bowlers. Then
yeah.
you can't yeah, you can't go with just Shaheen Afridi, Hassan Ali, and then Fahim Ashraf. You need a 4 seamer. So Horace Rolfe will get a game. But it's weird that they've just
I'll
said,
tell you this.
okay, they put all their eggs in one basket, really.
Yeah, yeah.
And we'll look at the
And the
Australia
funny thing,
squad, but that's completely different. Very
yeah,
different.
the
We'll go to
in terms of Pakistan, right? One thing I've noticed is that there's no Wasim Jr., there's no Shahnawaz Dhani in the reserves. Ideally, and again, Mohammad Abbas not been in the best of bowling form, all that stuff, right? But I would have put Mohammad Abbas in the squad. I would have said in the
yeah,
reserves you have Naseem, Shahnawaz Dahani, and Mohammad Wasim Jr. as 3 potential, or
yeah,
if not Mohammad Wasim Jr., at least you have Shahnawaz Dahani and Naseem Shah, kind of young guys who could
yeah.
potentially replace someone like Haris Rauf or and anyone who gets injured. But yeah, that's a definite issue that you can see, and that's the reason why when I look at Haris Rauf, I'm like, I think he might get 1 game. I don't see him playing any more than that, even with Hassan Ali, Shaheen Afridi, Fahim Ashraf. It's highly unlikely that Pakistan will go with all 4 in Pindi. I think if they do, that'll be very interesting because just
Mm,
one spinner, even though I was talking about, yeah, Pakistan will probably go with that kind of setup. It's
yeah,
just over through the days after day 2, after day 3, it's still going to be a bit more conducive to spin. Hassan Ali, Shaheen Afridi, I completely understand where you're coming from. They're going to play every game. They have to play every game. It's
yeah,
they are that good, but it's an interesting option that Pakistan have gone with because
yeah.
their feeling is probably, yeah, we're not gonna, no one's gonna get injured. Hopefully, no one's gonna get
Mm,
injured. We can play the same squad. And if we look at Australia, we will talk about Australia. But if we look at Australia, they have what, like 4 pace bowlers that they can interchange, right? They're gonna play 2 or 3, and then they're gonna kind of change it around. Boland comes in X, Y, Z. So
Yeah.
Pakistan probably just looked at that and thought, okay, let's go with 4 pacers, like including Fahim Ashraf in our main block, then 4 spinners and the rest batsmen. That's what it looks like to
But
me.
whereas they've gone with 5,
Mm.
excluding Cam Green, so
Oh,
6 including Cam
6.
Green.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's a difference, right? But anyway, well, we'll go into that in a second. But yeah, I mean, I'm worried about Shane Afridi getting bowled into the ground. But
Dude,
I
he's
just,
gonna get. He
I
loves
don't,
bowling into the ground. Like anyone asks him, he's like, "No, I want to keep bowling. I want to keep
yeah,
bowling."
but yeah.
Relax, dude. You're 21, 22 years old.
Yeah, but he just
Rest
loves the
up.
game, which I get. Yeah, but actually, it's not up to him, right? He's young, he's exuberant, he wants to bowl, he wants to play, right? At that age, we were all like that. Well, I was like that anyway. I want to play, do everything I can, right? Flipping just to play sport all day, every day. But it shouldn't be him. It should be the coaches telling him, right? That and the fitness coach telling him, look, you need to take it easy, to give him a break. So we'll see. Hopefully they do.
Uh,
They've been a bit better with him recently. So
yeah.
yeah,
I just want to mention something. You mentioned coaches, Saklan Mushtaq, Muhammad
yeah,
Yusuf, and Sean Tate
yeah,
as the coaching setup.
yeah.
So it's good to see.
Yeah, so
Let's see
Sakar
how
Mushtak head coach, isn't he? Yeah, head coach. As you said, Mohammed Yusuf is a batting coach, and
back in.
Sean Tate the bowling coach. So, interestingly, obviously no Matthew Hayden like people wanted, but
Yeah.
Sakar Mushtak was in that coaching setup. So that's a positive, I guess.
I'm not. I know it's not a long-term contract though. I know
It's
apart
one
from
year,
Sean.
I think, isn't it?
Yeah,
All of them are one
Sean
year, aren't they?
Tate's no, Sean Tate is a bit longer
Oh, is he?
because
Okay.
yeah, Sean Tate's the only one that's a bit longer. But it's good. An Australian bowling coach against the Aussies. It'll be fun to see, and
Yeah.
very excited about that inclusion. But yeah, for me again, I like Harris Rofe now. Everyone knows I like him
Mhm.
now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I just don't think he's a red ball material as of this moment. Even though yes, he's played 4 games and bowled really well in those, I just don't want him to be thrusted in there as a potential seamer.
Yeah, I agree. I think the issue as well is that we don't really have a lot to choose from in terms of established bowlers to come in. I mean, I think Mohammad
Yeah,
Abbas obviously can come
is
in,
the
but
only established one.
the only issue with him is that, as you said, he definitely dropped yard of pace. But I guess he's a good contrast to Hassan Ali and Shine Every Day anyway. But anyways, let's then go on to your 11. If you had to pick an 11, we won't do predicted 11 because there's a lot of time left. But
Yeah,
for
yeah.
your 11, if you were to pick a team, who would you pick?
I'd pick Shan Masood, Abdullah Shafiq, Saud Shakil, Babar Azam, Fawad Alim, Muhammad Rizwan, Fahim Ashraf. I'm not putting Nawaz in, even though you think I'm going to put Nawaz in. Numan Ali, Hassan Ali, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and then I'm going to go with Sajid Khan.
So no Azhar Ali, no
Nope,
Imam
nope,
Haq.
nope,
Oh, that's
none
a
of them.
big Azhar Ali. That is a big call.
I'm taking Azhar Ali out, man. I've been wanting him out for about
Oh
five,
my
6 months.
god.
So I think he'll right. This is my 11. He'll get at least a game.
Mm,
South Shakil. I think South Shakil will get at least a game.
mm,
And it'll probably be at number 3. It's not going to be at 5 or 6 because we've got 4, 5, 6 kind of established in there. And Rizwan
mm,
doesn't want to bat 3. Babar doesn't want to bat 3. Fawad Alam doesn't want to bat 3. So South Shakil comes in. He's going to come in for that number 3 spot.
mm. No, 4, 5, 6 is nailed on. I think
Yeah.
for a while,
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah, for me, I'll quickly go. I'm gonna go Shah Masood and Imam Al Haq, probably predictably, and at 3 Azhar Ali, Bob Razam, Mohammad Rizwan, Fawad Alam. So that's my 6, and then from 7 downwards, Faheem
Depends on the
Ashraf.
pitch. Depends on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean Faheem Ashraf, and then at 8, then you kind of go. You know what? I know you didn't pick him, and he's your favorite, but I might go with Mohammad Nawaz. I think it's interesting at 8. Then at 9, Hassan Ali, 10, Shaheen Afridi, and then at 11, I'll go Naman. Well, Naman Ali should be really higher, so I'll put him at. But anyway, you
So
know
you've
what I
got
mean.
2
Naman Ali a bit
left arm.
higher.
So basically, you got
Yeah,
3 left arm off break. But you basically got Bangladesh, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah, 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 exactly. I really want to pick Zaid Mahmood because I love leg spin,
Mm.
but I
He's
don't.
expensive, man.
I
Like that.
haven't seen enough of him as well. That's the thing as well.
Okay.
And I think he's a bit of a wild card, so I'm not sure whether it would be nice to
I'm
have a leg
so
in there
surprised.
though. It
Where's
really would.
Shadab Khan? Like I again, we've been talking
Yeah,
about this
that's
for
true.
ages, but he doesn't play enough first class cricket to be able to warrant a place in
That's the
the
thing.
Test
Yeah.
squad. If he did, he'd definitely walk in, especially considering
He'd
the
give us
form.
great balance as well in there.
Yeah,
He would.
yeah,
Even if he was an option instead of Fahim Ashraf,
yeah.
that would be good.
That's what I
So,
was thinking.
uh,
That's
uh,
exactly what I was thinking.
so, but yeah, I'm sure longer term. I mean, he's got to. He just hopefully, with how the world's going, I don't know how much first class cricket he's going to play, but hopefully he manages to play some. So he's played a couple of test matches, but just not enough. Right, okay, that's enough about Pakistan. Let's go on to the main people. Well, not really main. Well, the touring side, which is Australia. Um, they've got. I mean, we're going to go into it in a second. They've got some incredible players, of course, as always. And the
Yeah.
biggest thing I think for me is that there's only been one inclusion from that winning side, that winning Ashes side, which is Ashton Agar's come in. So for those of you listening to the audio, it's Pat Cummins as captain. Ashton Agar, which, as I said, is the only inclusion from that Ashes squad. Scott Boland, Alex Carey, Cameron Green, Marcus Harris, Josh Hazelwood, Travis Head, Josh Inglis, Usman Khawaja, Marnus Labuschagne, Nathan Lyon, Mitch Marsh, Michael Neser, Steve Smith, Mitchell Stark, Mitchell Swepson, and David Warner. So no Jai Richardson because I think he's been asked to be rested. So that's why he's not in there. But Scott Bolland, obviously, you can see has a big grin there and face of
Yeah.
his on the screen. He's being retained. So, as we said, so they've, in terms of the paces, Pat Cummins, Scott Bolland, Josh Hazelwood, Mitchell Stark, and Michael Neser. Then you add in Cameron Green, that's 6. So that's what I was saying. It's a big difference, right?
Yeah.
And they're high quality, all of them. I mean, Cameron Green's swinging the ball away from the right hander at 90 miles an hour, so and he's their all rounder. He's basically their Fahim Ashraf, but on steroids. And then you've got the rest of them, which are interesting, of course. Marcus Harris retains his place after I think he got a score towards the end of the Ashes, so he makes a claim to hopefully try and nail down that spot. Although he's struggled, obviously got dropped more in the tests. And Ashton Agar, the spinning all rounders, come in. Because, as we said, that some of the pitches may turn, given it's subcontinent. You'd expect some of them will turn as the days go on. Ashad, your initial thoughts?
I just want to add on something you said, and then I'll talk about the squad.
Yeah.
Something that is a misconception about Pakistan, because it's the subcontinent. Everyone
Yep.
assumes it's going to be like India or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
It's not as spin friendly as those 3 countries are.
Agreed.
It is spin friendly, and especially after day 3, it's going to be quite a lot. But if you look at the Pakistan-South Africa series, Hassan Ali was one of the best bowlers because
he was. Yeah.
he was picking up wickets on day 4, day 5. Shaheen Afridi was bowling well. A lot of the Pakistani pace attack were bowling with Norkia, and the South African contingent pace bowlers were bowling really well as well. So just that's something to kind of keep in mind. But that's probably why Australia have gone with 6 paces here. They're like, okay, we've got 6 potential options, including Cameron Green. In terms of spinners, they've included Ashton Agar because of a chance that, what if we play Lyon, Swepson, and Agar? Not going to happen. Highly unlikely. But as a potential option, what if we bring in Agar as our second or third spinner? Because I would love to see Mitchell Swepson play. I've seen him play a bit in the Sheffield Shield, and there's 2 leg spinners in the world that I'm really excited about playing red ball cricket are Mitchell Swepson and Matt Parkinson for England, right? So, like, in terms of the young players. So, yeah, it's great that well, he's already playing, isn't he?
I know.
So, yeah, I think those are great inclusions. Very excited to see that they've kept someone like Josh Inglis in there. So I know he's making his debut against Sri Lanka tomorrow as well as in the T20s or the ODI. So it'll be great to see him in the international setup. Hopefully he gets an opportunity. But I think Alex Carey is kind of there because he's more experienced. They're like, we're going to bank on him at least for a little while because he wasn't supposed to be in this one, right? Yeah, exactly. And then we've got Marcus Harris. Yeah, he scored that 70 and like 30, 40 runs. So he's in the squad, but I see Khawaja and David Warner opening up. Like I don't expect them to go with Harris to open up here, especially because Pakistan might just bring in spin around the 15th, 20th over, and Harris isn't the greatest against spin, while Usman Khawaja against spin and against Pakistan, he's got a pretty damn good record, right? So I think that kind of makes sense. And in terms of Australia squad, again, this is probably one of the first times where I've been happy with the Pakistan squad and the touring team squad. So this is their best. Like, this is genuinely their full strength team. Yeah. And it's great to see their best side touring. And I can't wait to see Labuschagne and Steve Smith batting with Shaheen running in and potentially half-filled crowd because of COVID. But like, I want things like that to happen in Pindi, in Lahore, in Karachi, like wherever they're playing. I want stuff like that to happen because that's my memory of 1998. Shoaib Akhtar running in to freaking Steve Waugh in Pakistan. So like you keep those memories. So yeah, very
Yeah.
excited about that. Again, I just want to mention one player here, which is Michael Nesser. Again, he played a game in the Ashes earlier this year, and he looked good. Again, I don't expect him to play though. I think Cameron Green has solidified that all-rounder position at number 6. He's batted okay as well. He's batted aggressively. He's batted with some sort of straight-mindedness as well, content. So it's good. It's good. And yeah, freaking Australia looks great. Let's hope Justin Langer's exclusion doesn't tamper with their mind too much. Unless it does, and then Pakistan wins, and then we're happy. So let's see how it goes.
No, we're going to spank them 3-0. I'm joking.
I hope so, but I don't see it. I'll tell you. The
I'm
truth
joking.
is, I'm expecting a drawn series. I think there's going to be a draw in one of the games, and Australia's going to win one. Pakistan's going to win one. That's my early prediction. But knowing my predictions, I'm probably going to be wrong.
3-0 Pakistan.
There we go.
That's my prediction. That's my prediction. I'm going to stick with it. I just think they haven't toured in so long. But look, to be honest with you, if anyone's going to win, if any Australia squad in the past, as you said, 10 years is going to win in Pakistan, it's going to be this squad. I mean, they've got a really, really strong squad. They're coming off the confidence of winning the Ashes, the T20 World Cup as well, and no one expected them to win. Yes, it's a different format, but relatively similar conditions in the UAE. Yes, not all the players transfer, but still, like, the confidence is there. Yes, I understand the Justin Langer situation, but again, a lot of the players didn't want him there. That's why he's not there, let's be honest. So they'll be happy about that. So it just seems like starting anew, starting fresh, and Pat Cummins looks like he's got the bit between his teeth, and he's also got respect from the dressing room. It's going to be an interesting series. A couple of questions on some of the players then, and how you think they're going to go from the Australian point of view. You mentioned Labuschagne and Smith. Smith hasn't been in the best of form. Labuschagne's been in pretty good nick, though. And coming into Pakistan, Smith is normally a very good player of spin. Labuschagne not bad himself. Obviously, we said it's not going to be the biggest turners, potentially, but how do you think they fare in Pakistan, Labuschagne and Smith?
They've got unique and unorthodox techniques which work pretty much everywhere. So far, I haven't seen them play in Pakistan in a test match, so this will be a challenge for both sides. There was an interview with Labuschagne where he was talking about, I want to bring cricket back to Pakistan. I want to be in the center stage, batting in front of a jam-packed audience against the best bowlers that Pakistan can produce. So, yeah, it'll be good to see. I think Steve Smith's, I keep saying this about Virat Kohli, so I'm probably going to say this about Steve Smith as well.
Yeah.
He's going to come back and score some like ginormously huge runs when he gets back into that type of nick. Steve Smith didn't look the greatest, but sometimes he did look pretty good in the Ashes, and then he got a really good delivery, and then he gets out. That's something that could definitely happen here. Shaheen Afridi, with the type of bowling he has done over the past year and a half, Cricketer of the Year. We have to keep talking about this. Cricketer of the Year 2021. So he's definitely got something to prove, and Steve Smith's going to try his best to prove to everyone that I'm still that amazing at the top. There's no comparison. And yes, his form has declined over the past 2-3 years, if you look at it, but he's just really, really good. And I don't expect anyone from the Australian setup, include these 4 players, I don't expect them to actually struggle too much. David Warner, Khwaja, Labuschagne, and Smith. I think players like Head, Green, Carey, they're going to be the ones who are going to struggle a lot more in these conditions.
I actually think Warner will struggle. We'll see. I don't think the conditions are going to be, but we'll see. We'll see. I think, but I agree with you. I think Smith is still a really, really. Well, he's definitely not a spent force. He's a big force to be reckoned with. But I think the issue that he has is, I think his best days are behind him. I think the same can be said about Virat Kohli as well. They've had phenomenal almost 10
Careers. Yep.
years, like a
Yeah.
decade of where
Mhm.
they played, and they're still going to be really good batsmen. They're not going to get dropped for X amount of years. No one's saying that,
Mhm.
but their average years are most players' good years. So
Yeah.
they will be good. They'll still get runs, but I don't think we're going to see Steve Smith get kind of back the way, for example, Joe Root did last year. I can't see him having
Mhm.
a year like that again. But who knows? There's still a bit of time to go, and we always see a kind of renaissances, even or talking about rejuvenated players, even coming back from the brink. What about people like Mitchell Stark? I mean, surely he's going to struggle on these types of pitches. They're not don't give huge amount of assistance to seamers, and especially because he's a swing bowler as well. Do you think he'll struggle? And will we see maybe Scott Bolland, for example, come in to rotate for him rather than see Mitchell Stark?
Yeah, I think Scott Boland is going to get at least a game, and that rotation policy that Australia has, which they utilize really well, they're probably going to play Boland in one of the games. You mentioned Stark as a swing bowler, but he also bowls 90 miles an hour, and
Yeah.
pace on Pakistani tracks is very, very useful. So I don't think he's going to struggle as much as, Mohammad Abbas would struggle, but he might after the first 10 overs when the ball gets pretty old. He's going to be crucial for the reverse swinging ball because after over number 45 is probably going to start reversing. And that's going to be the challenge for the Pakistani batsman and potentially the challenge for the Australian batsman. Hassan Ali can reverse the ball. Shaheen Afridi can sometimes reverse the ball. One of the reasons why Pakistan might play Haris Rauf is because of the reverse swing factor. And then Australia, they've got Hazelwood, they've got Stark. Bolland, again, I think Bolland can do a bit of the reverse as well from what I've seen
Mm.
over the Ashes. So, yeah, man, it's trying to predict who's going to struggle or not is difficult, but Stark after the first 10 overs will be a bit on the lighter side in terms of what he'll be doing. But then when he comes back with the older ball, that's when he's going to be absolutely crucial because we talk about the tracks in Pakistan, but dude, it's going to help the paces to an extent. It's if I recall correctly, it's going to be a Kookaburra ball. Australia is used to playing with the Kookaburra ball. They know how it works.
Yeah.
It's going to be kind of dusty in certain stadiums as well. Yeah, it's this series is probably the most awaited series for me this
Mhm.
entire year. Doesn't matter about the T20 World Cup or anything. This is what I was genuinely looking
Yeah.
forward to,
Same.
and yeah, very happy that they've got their best side. And Stark, being the brilliant bowler he is, he could get injured, right? He could,
Mm.
and then Australia have to play someone like Michael Nesser, right? And they have to play other players that they weren't planning on playing.
You're really
You know, I'm
hoping. You're really
I'm
hoping for these situations. I can see it tell. Where is the confidence, Asjad? I said
yeah,
when
yeah.
I heard the tour get announced, the first thing I said, I think it might have been to Aaron or someone else. The first thing I said was, I really hope they don't. I really hope they bring their full strength squad because we're going to spank them. That's what I said.
Wow.
So we'll
That
see.
confidence is something I don't
Yeah,
have ever in Pakistan. But no,
yeah.
that's good, man. That's let's hope. Let's hope it's a
It's
good
just so
series.
hard to win away from home. We've
Yeah.
seen it with
Over
everyone,
the
and look
last
how
3
hard it.
years. Yeah, yeah, over the last 3 4 since 2017, winning away from home has been almost impossible. Yes, some teams have done it, South Africa, right?
Bangladesh, New
But
Zealand.
yeah, well, I didn't believe like that. Oh my god, that's a video for how
Uh,
the what? Oh man, they didn't win the series though. They
Biggest
drew the
upset of all
series.
time. Um,
Ooh,
yeah.
really? Biggest upset of all time? Is that
Test
really?
cricket, yeah, Test cricket, I think. And that's how
Wow.
that was
Well,
King. I
they
know.
didn't have
Anyway,
They didn't have Kane Williamson. Sorry, go ahead.
that's yeah. To finish up on, then let's. Do you want to quickly give your 11 for Australia?
Yeah, so I've got Warner, Khwaja, Labuschagne, Smith, Head, Green, Carey, Cummins, Stark, Lyon, Hazelwood. That like Australia's team is the easiest to make for me.
Yeah, I got the
Yeah,
same. To be fair, I
yeah.
think it's difficult to. As I said, like they might put in Harrison there for the first Test match, maybe, and then he doesn't get any runs. I think that's probably predictable. And then Kawaja comes in. Sorry, Marcus Harris, if you're listening, you're probably not. And look, I mean, I can imagine Ashton Agar getting a game at some point. Same with Scott Bolland as well. But yeah,
Mid Swepson as well. Mid Swepson.
yeah,
Good
I
leg
can't
spin player.
see Mitch Marsh getting a game unless somehow Cameron Green has a horrific first test, and they just need a stopgap in there for a couple of tests. And Josh Inglis is in there for cover. Let's be honest. So for Alex Carey. So it'll be a really interesting. I'm so looking forward to it. Of course, not too long to go. Just under a month, about a month anyway.
Under
a month.
4th of March. 4th of March.
Yeah, so very much looking forward to it. Thanks very much, guys, for tuning in as well. Do remember to like and subscribe to the channel, QualityShot, and also to a Quick for Us 2.0. If you're watching on our audio and Apple Podcasts, all those.
Yes, we're watching on the audio podcast.
Yes, if you're watching, exactly, or listening, exactly. Well, you can technically watch on Spotify now because there's video versions, but Apple Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchor, Google Podcasts. Do give us a subscribe, follow, whatever the best medium is on there, because they're all different. But thank you very much, guys. Stay safe and well. Thank you, Asjad, as always.
Of course. Happy to be here. Thanks.
Thanks, bye.